Namaskar. I warmly welcome you once again to our weekly reflection on Sanatana Dharma. In our last session, we explored the divine circumstances that led to the inaugural narration of Srimad Bhagavatam. Today, let us continue this sacred journey and immerse ourselves in one of its most elevating episodes, the story of Kardana Muni, Devahuti, and their divine son Kapila Muni, the founder of Samkhya philosophy. This is just not a tale from an ancient scripture. It is a soul stirring example of how worldly life, when lived with dharma, detachment, and devotion, can lead to the highest truth, moksha. The transformation of a royal princess into a seeker, the embodiment of divine knowledge in a child born out of deep tapas, and the timeless wisdom offered by a son to his mother. These are not just inspiring moments, they are guiding lights for every one of us walking the tightrope of modern life. Let's begin with the sage Kardama Muni, born from the mind of Lord Brahma. With a resolute intent, he performed intense penance on the serene banks of the Saraswati, not for personal gain, but to fulfill his dharma as a grihastha, a householder. So intense was his sincerity that the Lord Vishnu himself appeared, radiant and reassuring. He blessed Kardama with a divine promise that a worthy bride would come his way and that he, the Supreme Being, would incarnate as Kadamba's son to impart the highest wisdom to humanity. And let us pause and reflect here. Even without asking, the divine response to sincere effort and unwavering tapas. Satyam tapasa Brahma Devi. That is, truth and penance are the path to Brahman. And soon after, Swayambhuva Manu arrived with his daughter Devahuti in search of a suitable husband. Though born a princess, Devahuti chose a life of simplicity, willing to leave the comforts of the palace to serve Kardama Muni in the depths of the forest. So, uh, with grace, patience, and unwavering devotion, not out of submission, but from a place of love and spiritual commitment. So Kardama, moved by her devotion, used his yogic powers to create a magnificent aerial mansion, a Vimana, where they together journeyed, experiencing celestial pleasures. Devahuti gave birth to 9 daughters, all of whom married great sages. Just for academic interest, let me give their names and the rishis they married. Kala married to Marichi, Anasuya married to Aitri, Shraddha married to Angiras, and Havirbu married to Pulastya, Gati married to Pulaha, Kriya married to Kratu, Kyati married to Brihu, Arundhati married to Vashishta, and Shanti married to Atharva. Now, each of these unions contributed to the propagation of dharma and knowledge, as the progeny played crucial role in shaping Vedic and Puranic traditions. This phase of the life reminds us marriage is not a contract, but a sacred collaboration for inner and mutual growth. And Pativrita Yastriyaha Paramam Tapaha, that is, for a woman, the sincere service to her husband is supreme penance. Here, this sloka is not a commandment of suppression. It is, in fact, a recognition of feminine strength and sacrifice. Devahuti, born a princess, had the luxury of palaces, but she chose a life of tapas, not through force, but with freedom, love, and dharmic clarity. Her service was not slavery, it was seva rooted in spiritual evolution. And what was the result? The Lord Himself was born as her son. So this sloka does not diminish a woman, it elevates her inner power. It says you don't need external renunciation. Even within your home, in your chosen path, your dedication becomes divine penance. That's not subordination, that is liberation through love and dharma. Eventually, the couple longed for a child, not an ordinary one, but a divine guide. And true to his word, Lord Vishnu incarnated as Kapila Muni, born with golden eyes and brilliance of 1,000 suns. Having fulfilled his worldly duties, Kardana renounced worldly life and returned to his path of renunciation, entrusting Devahuti in the care of their son. What followed next is one of the most moving spiritual conversations in the Bhagavatam. A mother yearning for freedom turning to her son as a disciple. Kapilo Jnanataha Sakshat Bhagavan Eva Keshavaha. Kapila is truly none other than Lord Vishnu, the giver of wisdom. With humility, Devahuti asked Kapila to show her the way to freedom from suffering, rebirth, and bondage. And Kapila, the compassionate teacher, began imparting what became the Sankhya philosophy, one of the oldest schools of Indian thought. And he says the self, Purusha, is eternal and distinct from Prakriti, nature. Suffering arises when the self identifies with the body and senses. Liberation comes when one realizes this distinction. And bhakti, when practiced with knowledge and detachment, purifies the mind and leads to freedom. So he says, Bhakti Bhakti Yodana Manasi Samyak Pranihide Male. That is, through the Bhakti Yoga, the mind becomes pure and fit for liberation. This teaching is revolutionary even today. You don't have to renounce the world to reach God. You can live with family, perform your duties, and still attain moksha if you walk the path with awareness, detachment, and devotion. And Kapila concluded that Jnana Bhakti Virakhena Muktim Prapyate Nurdam. That is, liberation is attained by knowledge, devotion, and detachment. Let us be very clear in our minds. Spirituality is not bound with gender or age. Devotion is not weakness, it is strength in surrender. Renunciation is not of home, but of ego. Even in a busy world, a still mind is possible. So, when the home becomes a space of love, discipline, and knowledge, it transforms into a sacred heaven. And it's a sacred ashram rather. In a world running after speed and validation, let us slow down. In a society obsessed with appearances, let us rediscover essence. In relationship strained by ego, let us bring back selfless service and bhakti. The story of Kardama, Devahuti, and Kapila is not just an old scripture. It is mirror to our own lives, asking us, are we ready to live with awareness? Are we open to seek and receive wisdom, even from unexpected sources? May your week ahead be one of reflection, realignment, and inner peace. Best regards, Raju Krishnan, Hyderabad.